Chris Berman, NFL studio host from ESPN, joins us, an absolute legend. And what a way to kick off today's march to the big show. It's Chris Berman. How's it going?
Good morning. And I will say that you guys have been enjoying football before we get started. Argos 9-1, huh?
That's right. Our Argos. Let's go Argos.
Yeah, we had Chad Kelly on the show yesterday.
Yeah, you keeping tabs on us or what?
Well, no, I think it's awesome. Chad, good for him. He's had an interesting road, but the road that he came in relief, or it was a big star in the Grey Cup, and he hasn't looked back and got a new contract. So just to let you know, I'm paying attention to. Of course, you guys got a long way to go, a long season, et cetera. But my God, it's good for you guys. You're getting good attendance, and then you can ask me the questions. Are the fans showing up?
Oh, yeah. Great attendance. It's really like ignited the city since they won the Grey Cup. And of course, Chad Kelly, Swag Kelly's been a massive part of it. And we're not as bad as the Edmonton Elks at home. So, I mean, at that point, it's all gravy for us here in Toronto. It's good to have a team doing well in our city. Okay, let's go to Lions and Chiefs because, of course, we're hours away from the kickoff of the NFL season. I'm sure your excitement level is as high as ours. You can hear it in our voice. We're excited to have NFL back. But I think the Lions are getting some questions around, are they deserving of this spotlight this season? They've been put in so many primetime opportunities. Are they going to Lions their way through tonight's game? How do you predict that this one starts off?
Well, the Chiefs, two of their best. I mean, I don't know for sure on Travis Kelce, but even if he's limited, let's just say he plays less than 50% of the plays. So that means two of the three best players on Kansas City, as good as they are not playing. Chris Jones is, contract, and he's their best player on defense by far. And Travis is more than just a security blanket for Patrick. That being said, hard to beat. Although the Bills did it last year emphatically, went out and clobbered the Rams on their banner night, so it doesn't never happen, if that's the correct sentence. But it's hard for a team that is up and coming but really doesn't have, other than inside their clubhouse or locker room, a pedigree. Now the Lions have won, the last half of last year. They were 6-2, whatever it was, and they had enough moxie to, with nothing on the line for them, knock Green Bay out of the playoffs in a game that, quote, meant nothing to them. So the Lions have a lot of firepower. This is their Super Bowl. The good thing for Detroit, and then we'll get to Kansas City, which I know pretty well. The good thing for Detroit, great expectations, et cetera. But tonight, nobody's expecting them to beat the Chiefs. So all of the talk of this is the Lions' year, they haven't won a title since 1957. Yes, for your listeners and for you guys, I was alive, but I was 2, all right? So I don't remember it. So it's a long time ago. But the pressure isn't on them tonight to be, this is your year. Does that make sense? So they can play free and clear or loose, and however you want to say it. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs and Andy Reid, with time to prepare for any team like a bye week or, week one, the record through the years has been outstanding. It's not an accident. What we got to remember on the Chiefs is, and I think they will win. They should by about a touchdown or 6 or 7, I think. But boy, it's early to start being the Swami, And we must remember that the word dynasty is a little bit thrown around a lot. They've hosted 5 straight AFC championship games. So this is like the Patriots of the next generation. They had Tom Brady, and what they did is legendary. And these guys have Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, and they had Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. And wouldn't it be cool to see a team repeat? No one's done it for 2 decades. They certainly can. A lot of things happen as defending champ, but they certainly are good enough to repeat, although we're a long way off from that. So, and don't we enjoy watching Patrick Mahomes play football, whether you're rooting for the Chiefs or not, right? Mm-hmm. Right, you guys? I mean, it's if you like football, This is like, if you like ice cream, this is the best flavor ice cream. Does that make sense?
Definitely. There's a lot of incredible matchups in Week 1, and the Buffalo Bills open their 2023 season against the Jets on Monday Night Football. And I know you've always had a special place in your heart, for sure, for the Buffalo Bills. If there's one lasting image of the Bills season a year ago, for me, it's Stephon Diggs sort of going nuclear on Josh Allen on the sideline. And I know that left a tough taste in many Bills fans' mouths heading into the offseason. But, you flip the page, and they still have a ton of talent in Buffalo. How are you feeling about the Bills this season? How many times are they going to be circling the wagons in Buffalo?
Well, I feel great about the Bills. I mean, I still, every year I throw up Buffalo versus San Francisco. I used to do it back in the heyday, and one of the two of them would make the Super Bowl. That's a while ago now. The U.S. National, or out of the Buffalo area is, and I've read it like 8 times, I don't know why, is the window closing on the Buffalo Bills. Well, I didn't know Josh Allen turned 40. Now, maybe you might have got your finger stuck in the window when you closed it, but no, I don't see it at all. Yet, look, they went through, this is not to make excuse, and they would never speak it, but you were sure. Go back to what they went through last year, DeMar Hamlin being the most vivid, and the fact that he's playing is just, again, if you're a human being, you're pretty thrilled at this, whether you root for the Bills or not. But what they went through, just with him being at the end of the regular season, 7 feet of snow, 2 games in 5 days in Detroit when they're leaving their 2-year-olds and wives at home to go play and, drive up through Canada, up your way and across, and then come back and then go back to play American Thanksgiving and the racially motivated shooting in the supermarket in the summer. It was you could see even in the Miami playoff game that they won, that the energy, and then you saw it with the Bengals, like they had nothing in the tank. I take nothing away. That doesn't signal to me, they got clobbered by the Bengals. The gap is bigger than we thought. They had really nothing left. They wouldn't say it. One or two of them after that game, and you guys may remember, said, I don't know why, we just didn't have – they used the word energy or whatever it was, the motivation they have, but we didn't just have it, and I don't know why. Well, they're human beings. We forget that. So that's aside, and you point out the Diggs and Josh. I find it hard to believe, and I'll get up there this year to their headquarters. I haven't been yet. I've been to Buffalo last month, but I'm sure they're fine. And now they've seeded the clouds a little bit in Week 1, haven't they? So you're going to play Aaron Rodgers with his Jets debut, and you're going to play in New York on 9/11, and you're going to play on Monday Night Football. So they've seeded the clouds in Week 1 against the Bills, not intentionally, but my God, it's set up for you couldn't ask a better trapping if you're a Jet fan, right? Aaron is 40 or about to be, whatever the number is, but he hadn't taken a hit yet, really, and he's as fresh as he's going to be. And if the Jets are going to beat him, it's going to be here. They might. I still think the Bills will win because I go back to this day last year when they went out and they clobbered the Super Bowl champion Rams. So the lights won't be too bright for the Bills, and it's a great way for them to set the tone. I think, they've made. I think they have everything it takes to be right up there with Kansas City, and you would look at the Bengals, but I think Baltimore is going to surpass the Bengals in that division. So there's one little prediction. But look, if the Jets are going to win, it's going to be with what I just outlined. I think Buffalo wins the game.
Yeah, a lot of great storylines headed into week one. We're talking to Chris Berman, NFL studio host at ESPN. Just in terms of the Jets, because they've had a lot of offseason hype, and we saw that last year with the Lions, of course. Hard Knocks helps with that. It's kind of the Aaron Rodgers show there. They often have that kind of same narrative as the Dolphins, though. You know, they fall apart. Do you believe that they've got what it takes, the way that this roster is constructed, obviously from the top down with Rodgers, to change the narrative, to make this year something of competitiveness? That AFC East itself is kind of a beast, but where do you see the Jets in their power rankings of this powerful conference?
Well, they're way up there because it's a good question. Let's preface it by saying you could make a case that, I'm just picking a number, 7 of the top 9 teams are in the AFC. So we'll start with that. So that road will be tougher for anybody, including the Bills. The Bills and the Jets and that division play about the toughest schedules just because they are playing the NFC East, who has had 3 playoff teams last year, and they're playing. They're all playing. They're playing the AFC West, aren't they? So those are with the Chiefs and the Chargers, et cetera. So those are rough schedules to start. The Jets' defense looks outstanding. Aaron Rodgers didn't come to lose. Do we plug in and say he's Tom Brady to Tampa and Matthew Stafford to the Rams, and that means they're going to win automatically? No, but they're definitely a playoff team. They are in the top, 8, and I'm just picking a number. You might say they're 5 or 6 or 7 or 8, and you guys can make your own decisions. But let's look at it this way, too. If you need a really good quarterback to win, the best 4 or 5 are in the AFC. You rank them however you want, with Mahomes 1, and you put Josh, and you put Joe Burrow, and you put Aaron Rodgers. I mean, you can't say, well, he didn't look good last year. I wouldn't. A rejuvenated Aaron Rodgers is a dangerous quarterback if you're playing him. And you might put Herbert ahead of Hurts for Philadelphia. So, like I said, the AFC is a minefield. But I think the Jets, look, they lost, 5 or 6 in a row at the end? They had Zach Wilson, a quarterback. So you plug in Aaron Rodgers with a team with a really good defense, and they look like they have skill players, and he's got 2 or 3 of his compadres from Green Bay. I believe, as we speak, on September 7th, that the power ranking, or whatever it is, they're definitely up there in the top 8 or 9, and I'd be surprised if they don't make the playoffs. Here's the problem, though. Toronto's a big city, but New York is New York, right? So supposing, I don't mean it goes poorly, supposing it's 5-4 after 9 weeks, then what? Is the howling in New York? Shows like this, the day he became a Jet in May, I turned on New York sports radio, which I don't usually, but I was in the car, and I figured this ought to be entertaining. I heard about 12 times, if they don't make the Super Bowl, the whole thing's a complete waste. Like, whoa. They have the longest playoff drought of any team in football. So they will make the playoffs. I think the Bills beat them out in the division.
Chris, I want to ask you about Lamar Jackson, because it was a huge storyline over the course of the offseason, negotiating his own contract, ends up signing a 5-year, $260 million deal. And one of the things that I think people are really excited about with Lamar is that he's got probably the best group of receivers that he's ever played with, and a new offensive coordinator in Todd Monken, who it seems like things are going well for him. They're going to be a little bit more pass happy, and we're perhaps going to get to see a new side of Lamar Jackson. Do you think that with a new and improved offense that the Ravens can actually have some success in what is probably going to be a very difficult AFC North?
I do, and I'm glad you brought him up because, first of all, if you're a football fan, you'd like to see him be healthy for the whole year, again, whether you root for the Ravens or not. If he is, and he is dedicated himself to become a better passer, not that he's not, but to your point, and you've read it correctly, the vertical game will be more than they've had, or at least by intention it will, They have receivers in addition to Andrews, the tight end, who's outstanding. I don't know if Odell Beckham's going to make it the whole year. We don't know. Or Lamar will make it the whole year. But if you have him and the young man that was hurt last year, Bateman, and the rookie they drafted, Zay Jones, and you know they can run the ball. I mean, because they're built like that, right? The left tackle's great. They run. Their running game is as good as anybody in football, but they really had no vertical game, so they could stack it. Well, now not so much if everybody's on the field healthy. What the curveball is for Ravens is they've always had among the best defenses in football. They still may, but they're a little thin in some spots for them, not compared to the Arizona Cardinals, for example, who are horrible. But so as many advances as we think they're going to make on offense, as long as they don't step close to that far back on defense, I believe they will overtake the Bengals. And that's saying something because, you know, Cincinnati is really good. So I think the Ravens are a definite watch. And, you know, when I said Herbert would be 5 in quarterbacks, I'm not so sure that I stated that correctly, that a healthy Lamar Jackson might be your number 5 quarterback. Again, another AFC quarterback. The conference is loaded.
Chris, before we let you go, we should definitely get on record what your Super Bowl prediction is so we can circle back at the end of the year and hopefully you're right. What would you have in that final showdown?
Well, you know, I do think the Chiefs have a hell of a chance to repeat. And again, I think it would be good in football every 20 years. We see it would be, now you've done something no one's done since Belichick and Brady, 03, 04. It's 2 decades, Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. But why would I not pick San Francisco, who now will have a healthy quarterback, hopefully, in the playoffs? It wasn't their fault, right? And Buffalo. Why would I not circle the wagons with a pick that I started in '88? I haven't done it every year since then, but this is 35 years. It's a 30. Let me do the math, right? I mean, it's 35 years of making that pick maybe 18 times. Why would I not on radio in Toronto on September 7th pick circling the wagons on the usual pick? So you have it on record, you guys.
Okay.
Amazing.
We've already recorded that and put it in the bank. And you know what? All that betting on the Buffalo Bills is going to pay off sometime, and hopefully it's this year. Chris Berman, we really appreciate you coming on. Really, really pleased to get you on here on a big day in NFL kickoff for this upcoming season. Enjoy the year, and hopefully we can chat with you down the road.
Well, I look forward to it. Thank you very much. Just a quick aside, I know how big of your fans, NFL fans and CFL fans, you folks are up there, and it's much appreciated. Prime time was always a hit in Canada, and we appreciate it. One other little aside, because you probably got to run to a break. I took a day. I was up in the Northwest, and I took the plane up and the boat back to Victoria.
Oh, beautiful.
And if you guys, I know it's a long way from Toronto, but if you guys are up that way in the fall and haven't done Victoria for a while, it was awesome. A little bit of London for a day. It was very interesting.
Put it on our list.
Just an aside.
Oh, that's very sweet. We'll put it on our list. Thanks so much, Chris. Enjoy the rest of your day and in tonight's football.
See you guys. Enjoy the game. Enjoy the season.
We sure will.
Thanks, Chris.